latest news about your favorite celebrities. And let's start with Jay-Z. Today's Piers Morgan Uncensored show started from apologies from Piers Morgan that he basically had on the show Jaguar Wright, former backup singer to Jay-Z. She was closely involved with Jay-Z and his record label, Rockefeller Records. Uh, and Jaguar Wright made all kind of allegations. Uh, she blamed Jay-Z of being a monster, of committing a lot of crimes. She not only blamed Jay-Z, by the way, she blamed Beyonce too. And as Piers Morgan said in the intro to his show today, he basically said that Beyonce's and Jay-Z's lawyers contacted him, and he and his editors needed to cut this fragment off his yesterday's show, and he apologized to Beyonce and Jay-Z for having Jaguar Wright. I thought it's actually shouldn't be a thing if your guest says something that you don't agree with, or a host of the show don't agree with. Uh, why they blaming a host, right? He just gave a platform, and if Jay-Z didn't like what Jaguar Wright said, he should have sued her. But apparently, it's an American legal system. You can do basically, you can threaten a host, or I don't know. Piers Morgan didn't want any problems. That's why he decided to apologize to Jay-Z and Beyonce. I don't know what happened, why Piers decided to do that, but it seemed awkward. And actually, he said, "Oh, it's a show, Piers Morgan Uncensored, and we don't like editing stuff and cutting stuff, but we needed to do that." So he apologized also to his viewers, kind of in a way. He said that they made him do it. So, as people.com are saying, Morgan interviewed singer-songwriter Jaguar Wright about the arrest and federal indictment of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, which included her branding both Diddy and Jay-Z monsters. Per the Hollywood Reporter, Wright also alleged that Jay-Z and Beyonce had hundreds of victims, though the catalyst for her statement was not clear. I understand one thing. I don't think that Jay-Z and Beyonce have committed crimes, so many crimes as Jaguar Wright actually said they committed. I don't think it's true. Because honestly, it's hard to imagine Jay-Z. I mean, Jay-Z always been a gangster rapper, but it's hard to imagine Beyonce committing crimes or saying something like that. So, but of course, there's so many allegations against Diddy now, and Jay-Z at some point of his life was closely associated to Diddy. And back in the 90s, rap music was way different than we have now, the rap music we have now. So a lot of rappers were associated with different gangs. And of course, I can I can see that something was happening back then, but I don't think that hundreds of crimes Jay-Z and Beyonce committed. It sounds unreal. I don't want to defend anyone without knowing the truth, and I thought that Diddy didn't commit so many crimes as now actually people saying he committed. So I didn't believe in that at first. In the beginning, I thought that actually they tried to make some money out of Diddy. So right now, what's going on? Especially after I saw this videotape with him dragging and kicking Cassie, I thought, yeah, this guy is crazy. I think he deserves some jail time for sure. But we haven't seen anything from Jay-Z, and I think P Diddy's character is he's kind of reckless. He behaved like he's a king of different bodies and king of the show. Jay-Z always tried to hide what he's doing. He was doing a lot of smart moves undercover. So people also say that Jaguar unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. That's what Piers Morgan actually said. As I said, in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have. That's what he said, and he added that their lawyers contacted his show, him, that he needs to apologize for. And Pierce did that. Even though, kind of, again, he said, like, oh, you know what? I don't like to edit stuff on my show. But he needed to apologize. It's shocking to me. I don't know. Like, of course, Jay-Z and Beyonce have the best lawyers in the United States, or one of the best lawyers. But I don't necessarily agree with something that Pierce is guilty of, because he basically gave platform to Jagger Ride. He didn't know what she's gonna say, so she said whatever she said, and if it's true or not, let Jay-Z sue her and let her prove it. He also said that editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored, but like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theater, there are legal limits on us too. So basically, he blames everything on the legal system. And said that he needed to apologize to Beyonce and Jay-Z. And of course, there's no evidence. It's hard to find evidence. Like, it's hard to say something and prove it, on a show on air. That's why I think Pierce apologized at the end. Probably he doesn't want any problems, any troubles with that. So, attorney for Jay-Z and Beyonce, his name is Alex Spiro, told TMZ that while somebody reported it was a cease and desist, it wasn't that. It was quite bluntly an ultimatum. There's rumors and then there's nonsense, and this is one step further, Spiro said, detailing his demands of Morgan. Remove that false accusation that demonstrably false, or a court's going to order you to. So probably Pierce consulted with his lawyers and said, yeah, I'm going to remove that. I think he made the wise choice and acted accordingly. But again, it's hard for me to understand why host of the show is the one that they blame for his guest saying something on his show. And also, this guy Alex Spiro said that Beyonce and Jay-Z furious over Diddy comparison. Yeah, they have so much power. I mean, it's clear to see that after this allegation being made, they just called their lawyer, and the lawyer like figured everything out, how to do it. Now it's like so funny to see how fake this industry really is, entertainment industry, because everyone was so friendly with Diddy beforehand. Now, like, everything trying to say, like, oh, we didn't know Diddy. Like, who's that guy? It's so funny to see, So Jagger Wright was a backup singer for Jay-Z quite some time. She was associated with him, and I don't see like any proof. Like, actually, I'm surfing the internet right now, and I don't see any proof to her words, other than like some allegations on the internet, like on Twitter. People say, "Oh yeah, she's right." They monsters, but I understand in the entertainment industry, especially before, maybe not right now after Me Too movement, right? It was crazy what was going on, and casting couch was a normal thing. Right now, it still exists, trust me, but it's not as normal as it used to be. And of course, in the heyday, when Diddy was basically 20 something, maybe 30 something year old, Jay-Z was 20 something and 30 or something year old. It was different entertainment industry than it is right now. But everything right now, like every headline right now, if you look on the internet, it's all about Piers Morgan apologizes to Jay-Z. Piers Morgan apologizes to Jay-Z, but nobody actually says that what Jaguar Wright said was wrong, and here's why. And we have evidence why she said it was wrong, right? That's why it's so interesting, you know. Uh, I don't necessarily believe her. Um, so interesting article on Amazon.com. So she said, Jaguar Wright said that Jay-Z and Beyonce had been involved in violent situations. Jaguar Wright has made little secret of her contempt for a number of influential media personalities, most notably Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs. The singer shared more of her opinions about the two moguls in a recent interview with Piers Morgan. Wright said there was thousands of victims in all when Morgan asked how many there could be. Wright then mentioned Beyonce, saying the Houston singer was supposedly involved in the unfair incident that transpired over time. I don't know. Like, I heard some rumors that when Kanye West made this infamous speech on, I think it was VMA about Taylor Swift and how Beyonce actually deserves this award, is because Kanye was defending Taylor Swift, and it wasn't like something crazy that Kanye did. It was out of defense for Taylor Swift because Beyonce and Jay-Z wanted to kill Taylor Swift. I don't know. It seems ridiculous. It seems funny right now, but you know, you never know what to believe in. Believe in. Um, Wright has spoken with hundreds of victims whom she continues to assist. She has three victims who are willing to testify about what Mr. Carter did to them, as well as what he did to his wife. So she says basically that Jay-Z did something to Beyonce, I assume. Following Casey Ventura's complaint in November 2023, they say about Diddy's case. Of course, it all started with Casey Ventura, and right now Diddy's in jail for quite some time, and I think he might go to jail for a long period of time because of this case that Cassie started. She probably like blaming blaming her so much, but yeah, maybe you always need somebody like that who can come out and say the things that nobody have guts to say. And she did it, even though they settled her case. After that, a lot of people actually came out and said, "Did it did this? Did it did that?" So I wonder if it's gonna happen with Jay Z. Same things. But I think Jay Z have even more influence than Diddy in the industry. Uh, he has more money. He has more connections. He's connected with really big people in the country. So I don't think Jay Z is in trouble. Maybe, who knows? But I don't think that's the case right now. And of course, we're gonna follow the situations. More news will come tomorrow, I hope. So we're gonna detail that. But I can say that one thing, that there's no evidence that what uh, Jaguar Wright said is true, and there's no evidence, absolutely no evidence that she lied to us. And of course, it's we have like a lot of investigative journalists who can try and investigate this matter and say that it's true or it's not true. They don't do that for some reason. I don't know why. They're afraid of Jay Z. They just don't want to do it because they think she's crazy to make these remarks. But Piers Morgan was kind of like serious about that. He said like, okay, all right, you know, until he needed to apologize for everything Jaguar said in the interview. Also, uh, we're gonna talk about Jay Z tomorrow. More news are coming, and I'm gonna research and maybe try to find some new information. Let's talk about Jennifer Lopez. She gave her first interview after her divorce with Ben Affleck. Uh, she gave an interview to Interview magazine, and she said that she doesn't want to date anyone yet. First time, she said in her life, when she's single, she doesn't want to date anyone. She enjoys being single. Uh, I think if you believe what she says, it's because I think she's just exhausted, you know? Like sometimes after a relationship, you're so broken and you're so empty, you don't want any new relationship. like, you want to be single for a while. I think maybe that's the case right now, because first of all, she said she's not regretting having a relationship with Ben Affleck, even though they ended up in a way that she didn't like, nobody liked, and she did not expect them to end this way. But she said that she's not regretting that relationship actually, and it's pretty cool, like she, even though she's admitting her mistakes, she's saying, yeah, something happened in my life, but it is what it is. So J.Lo actually also said in an interview to into a magazine that she doesn't have any criteria of a future man. She doesn't even know what type of a guy she's looking for. And I think she, right now, based on her words, based on her interview, she wants to concentrate on her kids and on basically on her projects, on her career, not on man. Maybe it was a mistake for her to always kind of like be in a relationship. Like she was in a relationship with one guy, then Mark Anthony, then Ben Affleck, Mark Anthony, and then like she started dating Alex Rodriguez. So there was not like no breaks for her, you know. Uh, and of course, like I don't know how it is for some people. For me, it's like after you committing yourself to a relationship, after you put yourself whole self in the relationship, it's extremely hard when you break up. So Nikki Glazer mentioned that J.Lo might have a higher bar for the next person that comes along. Lopez snapped back. Here's the thing. There's no new bar because I'm not looking for anybody. How's that? Also said, J.Lo also said, it's just me flying on my own. And she had like hot pictures on this interview magazine. You know, you know what? For people who are romantics and love being in a relationship and want to grow old with somebody, we think I have to that to be whole and happy, and you don't. The mother of twins Max and Am shared, and she had it took 30 years to get to this place. She noted. Towards the end of the interview, Nikki asked Jennifer again about the end of her marriage, the pain you went through. You do not regret, and she said she did not. She does not regret any pain. Interesting that J.Lo always says in the interview that she's such a romantic person, and probably she is. If she thinks this way, probably she is a romantic person. And basically, she's trying to explain that because of her romantic nature, because of her vision for her future, to be with somebody, to have this great relationship you can see on movie screens, that's why she was chasing relationship. And right now, she said it took her 30 years to understand she doesn't need any relationship. Hello to everyone who's watching it and who's gonna watch it. More people are gonna watch it actually, not live after the stream will end. She said, I don't regret being with Ben Affleck, not for 1 second. That doesn't mean it didn't almost take me out for good. It almost did. But now on the other side of it, I think to myself, F that. It's exactly what I needed. Thank you, God. I'm sorry it took me so long. I'm sorry that you had to do this to me so many times. I should have learned it 2 or 3 times ago. I get it. You had to hit me really hard over the head with a freaking sledgehammer. You dropped the house on me. Don't have to do it again. And interviewer said, you finally got it. I don't know what she got it, but right now probably it's not a right time and not a good time for J.Lo to have a relationship. She exhausted for sure, and she doesn't want. It feels like she's broken hearted. When you read this interview actually, she sounds she seems okay. She says that she's okay, but she kind of it feels like she's broken hearted, unfortunately. But I can understand her, because all these interviews that she gave, and she claimed that Ben Affleck is the love of her life, and she felt this way. Obviously, her mom said the same thing, and now like it's so disappointing and embarrassing in a way. They ended their relationship after they claimed that they're so in love with each other. They can't live with each other. It was such a mistake years ago when they decided to break up. So, you know, I think she sounds a little bitter when she says these words. I finally got it. And by the way, that doesn't mean I have everything figured out. So now I'm excited when you say you're just going to be on your own, said the host. Yes, I'm not looking for anybody because everything that I've done over the past 25, 30 years, being in this different challenging situation, what can I effing do when it's just me flying on my own? I mean, okay, good for her, right? Uh, in my opinion, like, people don't change. I've seen this a lot of times when people say, like, oh, I don't need any relationship, any other relationship. But if she's a romantic person like she claims to be, I think in the future she will need somebody to be by her side. And she will definitely meet somebody that she'll like. Hopefully, next relationship that J.Lo will have, I'll be like more successful, more fulfilling that relationship with Ben Affleck. I was skeptical about their relationship because I think they're two different people. J.Lo is so emotional person. She likes to talk a lot, and Ben Affleck, even though he seems like a nice guy, he seems like a guy you want to have kids with, like girls want to have kids with, but he's complete opposite from J-Lo, I think. He's very awkward at times, and shy at times, and he doesn't like to talk much. So, I don't know. They said like people who are different, they kind of like have this type of connection that people who are similar don't have. But I don't necessarily agree with that. I think uh, we kind of want to connect with people who are similar to us, have similar background to us. I think it's just our psychology. She said also, JLo also said, you have to be good on your own. I thought I learned that, but I didn't. And then this summer I had to be like, I need to go off and be on my own. I want to prove to myself what I can do that. When Nikki, the host, asked if the breakup was hard, interviewer actually, JLo replied, yes, it's freaking hard. Effing hard, right? And she feels sad. It feels lonely, unfamiliar, scary. It feels sad. It feels desperate. I don't know what I know. Like a lot of people don't like J Lo for different reasons, but I don't care how you like her or not. I'm sure this type of people they're gonna say J Lo was pretending. She wasn't real. It wasn't real. She was pretending to be upset by this breakup with Ben Affleck. But I think she is upset. Definitely think that she's upset by their breakup. It's still it's hard. She's still struggling. I mean, I wouldn't say this worse if I wasn't like in a bad situation, in a good situation, in a good place. I would say, okay, I would have said like, that's a good relationship. They taught me a lesson, and I'm moving on. But J Lo says like, oh, it was freaking hard. This words. If you say these words, you kind of like still struggling about that. But I don't think they reconcile. I mean, reading this interview, you can see that J-Lo has been through a lot, and she doesn't want to. She wants to move on. She doesn't want to reconcile with Ben Affleck or nobody else. She also said, "But when you sit in those feelings and go, these things are not going to kill me. It's like actually I'm capable of joy and happiness all by myself. Being in a relationship doesn't define me. I can't be looking for happiness in other people. I have to have happiness with myself. I say I'm a happy person, but was still looking for something for somebody else to feel and just like, no, I'm actually good." She sounds like a motivational speaker, right now. But it's hard to blame J-Lo. It's really, really hard to blame for her to say these words that I'm better by myself. I think it's BS, and I think in the future she'll understand that this interview she gave this interview from a bitter standpoint, from a disappointment. But she doesn't think this way actually, and I think in the future we'll see her with a man she likes. And hopefully it'll be the right choice this time. And also in the United States, everybody keeps talking about Milton Hurricane, um, and Tom Cruise, uh, journalist actually, have seen him in London where he landed. Actually, he was a pilot of his own helicopter. He landed in London, and journalists think that he had really disturbing look because he owns a property in Clearwater, Florida, and it's it's a place that actually in the middle of this hurricane. Uh, they say that millions of people needed to evacuate in the desperate race against time, uh, and actually that Cruz actually super nervous right now because his property might be in danger. I don't think they. I think they actually making something out of nothing. I'm sure had he has good insurance, and it's not like lost money of his in this building. I understand it's multi-million-dollar penthouse apartment, um, and it costs like around $30 million in Florida. But still, I think he'll be all right. So, of course, everybody's nervous. I mean, it's his money. Again, I think he has insurance, so it might not be such a financial risk that Daily Mail. I'm reading this article on Daily Mail. They're trying to portray such a financial risk for him. Um, They explained that plans back in 2018 revealed that the rooftop was set to include a pool garden, pool kitchen, outdoor dining area. The penthouse feels the top two floors of the condominium, adopt the sky view, and features an entire room dedicated to a flight simulator. The plan also showed the luxurious pad features a private entrance with a car elevator, as well as a personal garage that can fit up to 9 vehicles. Amenities for residents of the building itself will include, and they describe what this building includes, and they say like, oh, he looks disturbed, like he looks nervous, but I don't think that's the way. And right now, latest news about Hurricane Milton, that it's not as crazy as they expected it to be. So even though I think all the efforts that governor of Florida actually made, it helped a lot of people at the end of the day. And we'll see what's going to happen tomorrow. We'll see, because right now it's hard to say how big of a hurricane, how big of a disaster this hurricane Milton is. Even though like they keep claiming that Tom Cruise looked concerned as he arrived in London, we don't know. Maybe he had like a bad night's sleep. you know, I think he'll be all right. I don't think a lot of people will be all right because these houses that might get in front of this hurricane, that's the only thing they have. Tom Cruise have a lot of properties around the world. He has a lot of money invested in different stuff around the world. But uh, journalists, of course, talking about this waterfront home in Clearwater, and we heard about different celebrities losing their homes, their properties, in the wake of different stuff that was happening around the United States. In California, there was fire that destroyed some celebrities' houses, and now it's like it's a hurricane in Florida. I mean, come to New York, and here it's like, except Hurricane Sandy, everything is chill. And when it's hurricane in Florida, usually it just rains here a couple of days. It's not even gonna rain now. So you know, or go to Europe, buy a place, buy apartments or penthouses in Europe. It's also, I think, hurricane free. So he bought an apartment penthouse in a dangerous place, and now, unfortunately, that's happening. But in Florida, like every other year, if not every year, hurricane happens. So if you live in Florida, you should know that you are at risk of a possible hurricane. On this note, I'm gonna end this stream. See you guys back tomorrow with more news, more celebrity news. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next one. Bye bye.